is about setting up your new academic year for the next, and some more details. So what we'll be looking at today, the agenda for today, will be, first of all, the GDPR, follow up just a few pointers to make sure that you know still all things you need to know about GDPR. Then we'll take a deep dive into the setting up the new academic year and re-registration, so which is the main info about today. And then we'll have a chat about assessments, the new function that's there, which is also great that it's in the chat. We have Tom from Trafford and Dan from Lambeth, because actually you two are the first starting up using the assessment function. So I'll make sure that we got plenty of time to look at that functionality. And then we got the teacher app. Finally, just a short presentation about how that works. Hopefully you already got it installed and up and running, but we'll just run through that quickly, a few news about that. So, oh, and by the way, I'll send you these slides afterwards, so you don't have to worry about that. And you can see the full webinar later on in Speedadmin, in support videos. So you can, at any time, you can go in and see anything. So if I messed up, you can go in and have a good laugh, or if something that you didn't quite catch, you had to go to the loo or anything else, you can always re-see it at any time, review it. So first of all, a couple of GDPR details. Contact details in Speedadmin under support. There's a tab called Contact, and what we would love you all to do is make sure that these are filled out with your school responsibility, IT responsibility, and GDPR contact. Some of them might be the same person, but please fill out all three. This needs to be done as soon as possible, and it's just a question about us having the contact if there's an issue with the program or something that's crashed or anything else. We got the contact details. We can make sure that we can contact you directly. So very important. And just to show you real quick, in Speedadmin, in here beneath support, and then here contacts. So you got our contact details here, and then beneath you got the details we would like you to put in. So please get that done as soon as possible. That will be great. And then jumping back, if it will let me, shortly about anonymization. We've mentioned this before, but for any student card or guardian for that case, you can go in, and then you got functions, and then you got the one say anonymization. This means that will clear all personal data of this person. So all data regarding their name, anything that makes the profile that you can come back and find out what person this is, will be deleted. Also emails and so on. So the only thing you will keep will be the age and the gender, and also what have they been participating in. So their lesson and ensemble history will still be there, so you can do statistics on this data returns, but you can remove the personal details. But it's only possible for students that don't have an active course or higher instrument in this former or upcoming academic year. So if you have somebody where you really need to anonymize them here and now, we do have an extra functionality to force anonymization. But we don't want to give that out, because then by accident you might anonymize somebody, and then by deleting all their details by accident. And that we will just want to make sure that that doesn't happen. If you want to clear up in your whole database, you can go in. Now that's not relevant for any of you at the moment, but later on perhaps you say, well, going back 2 years, it makes sense that we have data here, but from then on we don't want the data anymore. We want to anonymize it. Then you can go in here in systems, and there you got anonymization. And in here you can go in, then you can say, well, going from school year 15-16 and backwards, we want to anonymize. Then it comes up with every student there that haven't been active since. So you could choose the students that's been active in that school year, but not since then. And then you can anonymize those. So that's a quickly way to cleaning up. In the overview here, there's also the lock cleanup. That's another thing. If you want to clean up in your lock, you might have that as you in your privacy policy, that you need to clean up this lock at some point. you can go in here and then you can do a lock cleanup, saying, well, going back, I want to keep my lock for the going back 6 months, but anything that's older than 6 months, I want to delete. So I say 180 days, I'll keep that, but anything that's older than 108 days, I'll delete that. So, and then say delete lock. Now this is also a quite serious thing to do, and you can amend these things. So please be sure that you proceed with caution. And for both anonymization and lock, there are rights tied to those. So if you need to have these, making sure that not all super users have access to doing this, let us know, and we can tailor your rights group so we make sure that only specific persons have access to that. Another thing here is perhaps also for rights. It might not make sense that all super users have access to the rights group. You might pick 1 or 2 people that have that overview, override right, that they can go in and edit in who have the right to do what. So that's also a right. But you can do it yourself or let us know in the support, and we'll help you out building it so your setup is completely secure. So that was it about the GDPR. No more about that. Now it's getting to be spring, at least here in Denmark, as you see here in the harbor. Beautiful harbor, isn't it? But going back here, it's spring, and we're supposed to start creating our new school year. Again, I'll send these slides for you afterwards in an email. But this can also, these checklists can also be found later next week, in the beginning of next week, in our help forum, and also with some screenshots and so on, and of course this movie. So we'll cut out the piece here with the creating a new school year, and then we'll make sure that movie is there. So first of all, you need to create the school year. Then you need to create the calendar, so setting up which days are holidays, which days are teaching days, and so on. You might need to make sure that you move to the next academic year when you do that. Then you can copy over teacher data if you want to. Also, if you got new teachers coming in or you got teachers leaving, then you can make them inactive. Then you can copy your ensembles from one to the other. Beware courses. You don't need to do anything with courses, because courses, they just keep on going across academic years or across school years. But ensembles are unique per school year. So that's very important. Then if you want to move your ensembles, you can do that already now. And then customizing some course info, not that important. And then finally, preparation for billing is not something that we will touch in this webinar. We'll have a separate webinar for setting up your payment setups for the next academic year. But that could be done later. But it is part of setting up the new school year. So let's jump in Speedadmin and see how this is done. So first of all, just jump here. First of all, we'll be setting up the new school year, and that's done down here in settings, school year, and then master data. And in master data, you can see I already set up that school year 1920, which is next year. So you just name it, and you can name it whatever you want to, but it does make sense to name it the same every year. Unless there's a good reason why, then you can also go back and edit and rename old academic years if you prefer. But it's all up to you if it's called academic year or school year, whatever you want to. So that's something that you do in here. So that it starts from the 1st of September and it goes to the 31st of August. That's fixed dates. You can't change those. So that's something that we in Speedadmin chose, that's the basic school year that goes from there to then. School year duration, roughly how many weeks are you teaching? Again, for every course, every ensemble, you're choosing how many weeks or how many lessons you're having on that course. So it's not something that's important. So again, it is just an overview thing. And then finally, you give it a color, and this color is used when I'm changing to another academic year that I'm not in, actually. It comes up with a warning here. You can see it blinks. It's giving me a warning. So there, what you want to do is choose a color that's very clear. Don't go with the black. It's not a good idea. And automatically it tells you, it will propose black. But make sure that you go in here, choose a color wherever you want to be, put it in here, and then you can move up and down, making it purple and good, and then you can say insert. So that's the most important thing here, is actually the color, funny enough. Now when that's done, you can actually change. Then of course you reload your page, and then you're back in. Then you can choose the next school year. For now, we'll actually jump into the next school year. So we'll jump into school year 1920, and then what we'll be looking at as number 2, as we saw, where that we were going to be looking. Close down this. Yep. Refresh. In settings. Now I'm going to be looking at the holiday and school year plan. So that's the second point here in the in this box. So for holiday and school year plan, what I need to do there, and I need to remember to be in the new school year, very important. Now I'm editing in the new school year, so I've chosen that. First of all, you got these 3 possibilities. First of all, holidays. So which weeks are holidays? So let's say in September, well, we're not starting out till in the beginning of December. So, and this is holidays that we're talking about. It's not that there's teaching or not teaching. So is it should be marked as a holiday? Then you mark it like this and put in that's summer break 19. And then afterwards you can go down in the bottom, say when we got here, and it will only go to when you got a bank holiday. So if this moves on, you would say summer break 20, and say okay. And of course you can always change the colors here, so you can make sure that they have the same color, all of your holidays. But if there's a bank holiday, they're splitting it, then you need to divide into 2, but you can make sure it looks like it's the same, because you can give it the same name and so on. Nothing there. That's all good. Perfect. So, but again, it's just holiday, so it is on dates where you don't really want any bookings, because the whole music service is having holiday. Then you got your common days off. Not something that we experience that use that much in the UK, but it would be if there's a day here now saying, for example, there's one specific day here, there's nothing, we don't have teaching, we don't have meetings, it's a day where we are off in our music service. So it's not a bank holiday, because bank holidays, they're already here, by the way, so make sure that you know that. And it's not an overall holiday, so it's just a common day off. So you can use it, you don't have to. It works much like a holiday, it's just another name of it. Then you got the student holidays, and student holidays, that's just what are being published on your portal for the students. So when are the music service closed for holiday? So here you would just be marking in all the days where you don't normally have teaching, standard. So you might have, in this week sometimes there's an ensemble and sometimes there's not, then don't put it in as a student holiday. So it's an overall, this is a week or a day where the whole music service normally are closed down, like over Christmas and so on. So that will be the student holiday that you draw in here in the same way. Then finally, most important actually, is the school year plans. And here you can have more than one school year, and then you can edit, you can assign these to different courses. So when, for example, when I'm booking my bassoon, it will follow the school year plan, or the school year plan. But when I'm booking the Center of Excellence course, then it's following the Music Center plan. And what you can do with these plans is you need to draw in what is teaching days and what is no teaching days. No teaching days, you're gonna have concerts, you're gonna have meetings, you could have anything. But when I pull in a student in your edit timetable over here, it won't put in anything on a day that's marked as green. So you can do like I've done here. Make them an all teaching day, and then afterwards going and say, well, we got a few days that are no teaching. Remember, you need to unlock with the patch lock up here. Unlock, say this day isn't, and that day isn't, and so on. You can easily go in and mark these days that are non-teaching days for courses using this school year plan. So courses can have different school year plans following different rules of booking, which weeks I will be booking. And will be some exciting news about when we start working with the booking version 2, the update. There's going to be some possibilities to change it per school. So with the in-school, the pair you have, you can change that more. So, and then in here, you can, as you saw, when I marked a day, for example, here I said no teaching day here, it comes up, oh, you remove the teaching day. Do you want to check if there's a booking there that we remove? Because if you already booked something and then you change here in your school year plans, then the booking is still here on the 9th if you've done the booking before you create this as a no cheating day. But then you can go in here and then you say check bookings, check for bookings that's not on a cheating day. No results, nothing, that's all fine because I haven't booked anything yet. So that's why it's important to do these school year plans first and do them right. You can easily delete. So it's better to have too many days than not having the right dates. So rather have too many teaching days than not having the right amount, because it's not that easy to put in new teaching days. And there's a question from Daniel regarding from August to July. I think that's you will be. I'll check up on that, Daniel. Dan. It shouldn't be. It should be from September. I'll check up on that afterwards. Thank you for writing that. So, and you can do different. You can do more school years plans, and then make sure which courses they should follow, and so on. You got a account here. How many working days do we have, and so on. So that's it. Now I've set up my school year plan. That's an important thing to get done, and I did this in school year 1920. Going back now to 1819, our current school year, and going into settings. The next thing I will be doing is I can do some handling. I can copy some things, and there's two things that I can copy. First, I can copy my ensembles. So as I mentioned before, the ensembles are unique per school year. They might have the same name, they might have the same students, might be booked at the same time, it's all good, but they have unique IDs. So they are separate for the school year. So that's why that you can take these ensembles and say, well, all of these ensembles, they should actually be there next year. Then I can say copy selected to the next school year. If you can't check them off, it's because they're already copied over. There's already an ensemble by this name created in the next school year. If you don't copy them over, they will automatically be copied if there's a student that re-registers, or we do a automatic re-register of students, and they're re-registered for this ensemble. Then the system will automatically copy them. So it's not something that we have to do, but if you want to have them over in your next academic year, start perhaps planning, because you want to start booking and you want to see how much teachers are having of hours of ensembles. Then I would copy these over and start handling them, because you can easily you'll be able to move them around afterwards. So it's not something you have to do, but it will make sure that then you can start working with your ensembles in 1920. Then you can copy some teacher data. And now there's not a lot of teachers where I have info on here. As you can see, teacher activity. I'll show you real quick. So we'll borrow Miss Almonte here. Allocated rooms, where then we're talking about these rooms that I have allocated here. If I go to her edit timetable, so the rooms that you got here, the columns in the side here, that's assigned rooms, these. So those you can copy over. So if you think, well, this teacher is probably going to be in the same room, using the same room the same period of time, then copy them over. You can always edit them afterwards in the next school year, 1920, but it's just copied over. Or you can just start adding them from the bottom, from scratch again. Then you got teacher activity, and teacher activity is not something again that we're using that much in the UK, but here you could, on the activity tab, you could add things like hours of admin time, travel time, all kind of things that aren't really teaching, that could be put in here under activity. So probably not a lot of you are going to have that yet. It's probably something that you might be working on later, adding more activities. But the activities could be copied over, saying, I know I got 500 hours of admin time a year. Well, then it's easy just to copy that over to the next year. Now I'm going to have 500 hours of admin time next school year. So you can mark these and then say copy selection to the next school year, and then that's all done. When it's done, or if there's nothing to copy, you're not going to have anything viewed on this page. Good. Then next step is, as I mentioned, we'll just jump back here. So creating a new school year, creating the calendar, very important. Copy teacher date, copy ensembles, and then finally having these customizing courses and so on. Again, it's in your courses here. Courses go across all school years, but if there's a new course that you want to make sure that's in your registration, if you need to do changes on, let's go into a course here, Bros. If you might want to update some of your subcategories, if you're using that, you might want to update your description of the course. Perhaps it says something about who's teaching it and it's another teacher now. All up to you. Also, as I mentioned, when you copy your teacher data, if you have teachers that are going to be inactive, you can just do that in here, edit, then make them inactive. But don't do it before they're done teaching, because when they're done inactive, they can't log into Speedadmin anymore. So that's an important thing. But you can easily, when they're done, make them inactive, and they can't log into Speedadmin anymore. Good. And then, as I mentioned, with setting up the billing, we'll do that in another webinar later this year. So now we're coming to re-register. And a beautiful thing is coming up. Stay there. Don't go on. So how much do you want to re-register? So here there's 3 possibilities, and I put it down in green, yellow, red. It's not something to do that you need to go or stay or but I'll try to explain this. Green is where active student, you ask active students that's on a course or ensemble now, and students on your waiting list to go in and re-register for their current lessons and ensembles. So waiting list students will go in and say, yes, I still want to be on the waiting list. Active students can go and see what they're attending right now and then choose yes, no, and so on. I can show you that in just a bit. The good thing about this, and you get all data will be updated. They're active deciding, am I going to be there next year or not? And the waiting list is also being updated. You can clean, you're going to get your waiting list updated and cleaned out. So students that don't really doesn't do anything because they don't want to be on the waiting list anymore, you'll clear those out. Next thing, only waiting list. You can choose to have only waiting list to re-register. This means that all your active students will automatically re-register them. We'll move them to the next academic year. So they probably need to tell you before a certain date if they want to discontinue from the course. If they haven't, we will just automatically re-register them and move them to the next academic year. You need to contact us saying, well, I want to do this now. When you've finished, all the students are supposed to be finished, and say, now I'm ready to move over, we'll do that for you. It doesn't take a long time, just need to let us know. But then waiting list student, you will notify them and ask them to go in and update if they still want to be on the waiting list. So it's just, again, it's making sure that your waiting list gets updated, that the data gets updated of the students and the guardian, and you got cleared out if there's somebody that doesn't really want to be on the waiting list. So if you got a really, really long waiting list and you want to make sure it's only the ones that really want it, well, the yellow way to go is, or the yellow model is the way to go. Then you got the red one. You don't want to do any re-registration. Well, first of all, you're going to get bored the next 10 minutes because I'm going to be talking about re-registration. But what we'll do there is we won't touch the waiting list. You won't notify your waiting list students. So students that are on the waiting list now will also be there for the next academic year. They will anyways, also if you go with the green and yellow, but in the green and yellow, you have the possibility to, when you got your deadline for your re-registration, then you can update waiting list, meaning that you delete the ones that haven't actually said, yes, I still want to be on the waiting list. The red one, we don't clear anything out, but also you don't get any data updated. So their contact details won't be updated this way. Of course, they can still log into Speedadmin, update their data and so on. That's fine, You got that possibility, or you could do it for them, but it won't be done through a re-registration process, which is one of the good reasons to do the re-registration. No matter what you do, there's a solution for all of these, and I won't say that one is better than the other at all. They both have their pros and cons. Before we move on, there's a quick question from Susan. Hi, Susan. When you make teachers inactive, does it prevent them from getting emails? Yes, exactly. So you can't send an email from Speedadmin to an inactive teacher. Also, if they're put into a forum as a subscriber, they won't be notified. So that's just, you're completely sure that they're not going to get any emails, and they're not able to log in. They're not able to ask for a new password or anything. Good. Moving on, how to do this registration. Of course, if you want to, we'll help you out. Just let us know. But it's a 7-step process: 3 to prepare it, and 4 to actually do it. So first, we'll take the preparation. You'll check the status of re-registered subjects and ensembles. So this is ensembles and lesson. This just means that you need to go in and check, well, are the lessons and ensembles actually open for re-registration? I'll show you that in just a sec. Then you got the re-registration fields. So that's where you mark in, well, what kind of fields do I want them that they have to update or approve that is correct. And finally, check templates for automatically emailed mails. As always, a good idea to make sure that you update your texts and your templates regular. But let's jump into Speedadmin. And then first of all, again, we are here in settings and registration setup. And first of all, down here is where you do a lot of the setting up for your re-registration. So this is where this is actually open now. So your existing student, that means active and waiting list students, those that have a profile. Is the registration open for them? Yes, it is. It could be saying, no, we're closing out totally. None of the existing can add or do registration. But normally it will be open all year round. But most of the time, it would just be that they could register for new courses. But here in the spring, before the new academic year, you could go and say, now I want them to be able to register for new things, but they also ask them to re-register. So that's actually point number 1 down in the actual process. But down here, there's some settings that we need to do first before we start out doing this. One is that you got these confirm master data threshold. This means that when you have a guardian going in, a guardian might have 3 different students. So he needs to do a re-registration of all 3 students. But when he's done the first updating of his data, then that update will be marked as for the next 90 days, he doesn't need to update them again. So when he does the re-registration for the next student, he won't be asked for the guardian data. He'll just be asked for the student data. But the guardian data, he already approves, that's fine. So as long as he does it within the 90 days, that's great. This number that you put in, number of days, is also the period of time when you log in as a teacher or as a user, not a guardian, but as a teacher or user. It comes up with the possibilities that you can because teachers and users, they don't re-register, but then there's the possibility here when they log in and they haven't updated data within 90 days, they'll be asked to update their data, and you can put in which data that they need to update. Again, you decide how many days, how long is this period. Is it half a year? Is it 3 months, or whatever do you think is relevant? Send email to existing student. Yes, when they sign up for a new course, they will get an email. Check that email template. It's always something that's not very checked very often, so do that. But that's new student registering for a brand new course whenever in the year like this, then he would get this email. So go in and check that, make sure you get the right info sent out. Then for the re-registration, it will send this email out. And if we go in here, there's a Danish word here in this merge field, and I'm very sorry for that. But this merge field is really, really, really important that you keep in your template. because that will create a table saying this is what you chose in your re-registration. What did you choose to stop or discontinue on? What did you choose to stay on? And did you register for new courses? So that's really important. Don't mess with this merge field. That's important. Gentilmelde fag in Danish. And we are working on getting all merge fields to be in English as well. But it's just so you know, don't mess with that in here. But you can write anything else. So thank you for your re-registration. You'll be contacted by your teacher at the beginning of the new academic year. Whatever you find relevant. So then there's a couple of things that you can allow in this re-registration process. You can allow students to say, well, I actually want to have a leave of this this lesson. So then they'll be putting on a waiting list with the waiting list type leave. So, and then for next year, when you do another re-registration, they'll come up and say, now you've been on leave this year, do you want to begin again? Well, that's for the whole school year that they can have leave. But they will be in the waiting list at any time. You can go in and search your waiting list for students that's on leave, and they will come up if they ask for that here. Then they can change their course. They can ask to get another course. They're not automatically moved to that new course, but they'll be on the waiting list with this new course, and you'll be able to handle saying, well, I'd like to have a look at those who ask for a new course, and you'll be handling them in a separate process. And handling the after re-registration, handling afterwards, and doing the next preparation of the school year will also be in a later webinar as well. Allow changes of course ensemble. So this is one for the lessons, one for the ensembles. If they can ask, and this is just a wish, they want to change their lesson duration. Say, yes, I still want to go to piano, but I'd like to ask if I can get more time. Do you want to ask for a new teacher? Can allow changes for subcategories if you're using that. And then the final one, if you want to go with a yellow model, you remember here back in this one. So if you want to go with this one, which is just the waiting list that you want to do this for, not active students, then you would put this to yes. And then these doesn't really matter a lot. Then it's just this one. Then it's just waiting list students. So that's important. So normally this would be a no if you go with the green model, yellow model, and if it's the yellow red model, then it's just registration. You don't do any re-registration. Good. So this is an important box. This is where we do the first setting up. Then next is that you will go to registrable courses. And here you got a list of all your courses, and then you can say, how does it look with my re-registration? So here you can go in and say, well, if for students that are attending individual bassoon, are they allowed to re-register? Will they be possible for them when they log in to choose that? Yes, that's possible for them to continue. If you say no, they're not going to be able to continue on that course. They can't say, yes, I want to keep going. Then they can pick another course or anything else, but they won't be able to move their course to the next year. And this is also when we do the auto re-registration. If you close down for any of these, then students on that course will not be moved over. So that's a very, very important page here. Registratable courses and then re-registration. Going down, for example, simply strings, we close down for that whole class. Again, it's whole class, so probably there's not students are not perhaps signing up anyways. So that's fine to close down. Then you got your ensembles. And then, for example, this brass ensemble, do I want to make sure that you can, yeah, that's open for that. And then there's a possibility here that you can move students from one ensemble to the next when they re-register. The only thing that's important, because you can see nothing comes up as a possibility. What's important is that you need to copy what they're being moved to. So you need to copy over. We saw that in the beginning where we created, when we handled and copied over the ensembles. So if you have copied over any ensembles, you're creating new ensembles in your academic year, those new ensembles will come up here, meaning students that go to this ensemble will automatically, when they register, be moved to this ensemble over here. This is what you're attending right now. This is what you'll end up on when you re-register. So you can move, and this is only for ensemble students. Then you can do this re-registration swap of ensembles automatically. It's for all students, so you can't say just some of the students should do this and some shouldn't. It's all the students that will be moved from this ensemble to the other ensemble. Good. So you need to go through this. There's it will tell you here with a icon. Is it fine? Can they continue? Will they be discontinued? Will they be continued on another course or another ensemble, that is? Or doesn't, if, here I see this brass. So the course brass, because it's an ensemble course, you don't re-register for this course. You re-register for the ensemble, because that's the thing with ensemble courses. There you actually have an ensemble, and we're asking, well, do you want to stay on this ensemble? You're not asking if you want to stay on this overview base course. It's the ensemble, the specific ensemble that we're talking about. Good. I hope you got this and that it made good sense. So for example, down here you can see guitar introduction. You could say, now I'm gonna copy this. So now I actually copied this ensemble, this one to the next. So, and this means that these will move them to this one. You see what I'm doing? I'm opening it up, but I'm making sure that all of these students on these 3 different ensembles for this school year will end up on this guitar introduction. They will be collected in this one ensemble. Then I can move them around afterwards in the next academic year, but I'm making sure that they end up on one ensemble in the next academic year. So this is swap courses or change courses that you got there. The yellow one. Good. That was checking the re-registrable courses, which is very important. Finally, we'll just jump back to this tab, and here go in and edit. Then you can see there's 2 things. Required, that's for brand new students. And what fields do you have to fill out information about? Then you got the must accept. That's the one where you want them to mark, say, yes, that's the correct info you got. Or they can go in and put in new info. They can put in all new info and everything except birthday, first name, and surname. But these that are marked with must accept, they need to mark those. Yes, I've seen that. I'll show you that in a second. So student email, and it's important. School, yes, because they might change school. Year group, yeah, definitely, because they might change year group. Photo, yeah, you probably, the photo permission, you probably want them to update that. For parents, well, first name and surname, they probably haven't changed that. So no reason that they need to approve that, unless you know that your data is not very good. I know, for example, in some schools have problem that you don't have the first name haven't been imported. Then you could use this one. They actually want all parents to make sure they put in a first name and that they check that that's the correct first name that we got. Address would always be good. Postal codes, phone, private, now not that important, but mobile, email, always important that they get that updated. The same with questions. If you have questions in your in your registration form, you can say they need to put that in. They need to accept these things again. And then finally, payment settings. You can go in here and say, must that be if you're using the payment settings? Not a lot of people are, but if you are, that will be the possibility down here. And finally, if you use that user, then you'll have some more saying users, and here you could add fields for what teachers and users should be asked about when they log in, which you probably have experienced will happen for you sometime. So that's where you mark that in. So overall, I think we're there. So if we go back, so we check the status for re-registered subjects, we check the fields, we check the templates that goes out. So all is good. Now I'm actually ready to send out these re-registrations, and I'll send an email to these. Then I can remind them, and you can do that whenever you want to. You can do it after a week, after 2 weeks, and as many times as you want to. So all up to you. Then at some point, in my first email, I put in a deadline, and then when that deadline comes up, I'll close the re-registration and tell all the students that didn't do anything, or all the parents, that they lost their spot on the music service. And then I'll do this clearing of the waiting list. I'll clear up my waiting list. Before we go into speed analysis, is it possible to have a prefix to names including, the prefix, we are adding that, so that should come up very, very soon. I can't tell you when, but we are working on getting prefixes on all users, teachers, and guardians. We are not adding it on students. So, and not possible at the moment, but it will be just around the corner. We'll make sure to let you know as soon as possible. So now I'll go into Speedadmin. Now I need to send off my re-registration, and I'll do that down here. So I'm gonna say yes. I open it up now. It's yes, and it's re-registration. Important thing here, make sure that students log in at the present. They still need to log in this school year, not next. They're copying their courses to next school year, but they still need to log in this school year. And then this one, that's actually also very important. This, say, the year group you're in. When you put in, say, I'm in year group at August, or I think it says September 2019. Change that to 2019, because then all those new students, both the new registrations but also the existing students, will update what year group and school am I in from September 2019. Very important as well that you get that updated, no matter if you do the re-registration or not. Make sure that you put that in so you get that info updated for students logging in from now on. Then over here we got this re-registration overview, and if I jump in there, here it tells me very friendly, you're most likely in the wrong school year. So very important here, I need to jump to 1920, and then it comes up with, this is the number of active students that I have that haven't re-signed up or done a re-registration. This is all my waiting list students. With the waiting list students, be aware, it's telling you it's the students that have signed up before the 1st of April 2019. This means that if you say, well, students that's registered before or after 1st of January, that's such a new registration. We don't want to give them the hassle, and they put in dates. It's very new that they registered. There's no reason that they re-register now. So we'll put down that the date being the 1st of January, saying everybody that's registered before the 1st of January, they need to do a re-registration. And then the number will go down, so students in here will just be students that signed up before the 1st of January. The ones after are not asked to re-register. And then when I do my waiting list cleanup, it will keep that date in there, so it will know, well, this is the cut date, the cutoff date. And then I need to send out an email, so I'll just press this one. Then it's picking up all my active students. I would suggest that you send the same email to both active and waiting list, because you might have students that are in both categories. So what I'll do, I'll minimize it so it comes down here, and then I'll say I also want to send to these. It asks me yes, add these to the minimized, and you see the counts up there, but it doesn't do a full 22 count because some of them were in both categories. In that way, I make sure that I don't send 2 emails to students although it's the same thing they need to do. And then I can just start writing and make sure to put in a deadline. Sorry about remove that. Make sure that you put in a deadline. Make sure that you put in some info about how they do this. Make sure perhaps that you put in how they can log in. And there it's very good to put in this login information, which will give them their username and the password. And for this, perhaps you will make sure that you just send this to your parent and guardians only. So deadline, login information, tell them what to do. If they want to stay there, they need to go in and re-register. If they don't want to, if they want to discontinue, they should also log in, do a registration, but choose what they want to discontinue on. So that it will be the same functionality, that they still use the re-registration or the re-sign up, whatever you would like to call it. You send out that email, save it as template for next year, and then what happens is now these students, and let's jump in on a student card, and then just one sec, we'll choose one that has a little bit more different stuff, this one. So now this student, he gets an email, or the parent get an email. Jump to the parent here, and then the parent logs into Speedadmin with the info that they got in the email. And when they come in here, I can see, well, first they need to do this for Albion, and then they need to do it for Kelly afterwards if they both students have courses. But then I said, yeah, I need to do my re-registration. So that's something that you tell them in email. Log in, choose re-registration from the top menu. So this will automatically come up as re-registration and not registration as soon as you set your settings to being now we're doing registration and re-registration. So if students come in here and they're already active saying, well, I want to register for something more, they still need to do the re-registration at any time. So you go in here and you'll present it with text. Oh, and I actually forgot, you need to check these texts as well. I'll put in that on my checklist. I forgot that, but you need to check these texts. There's a help text for re-registration, the first page, and there's also a last page for re-registration. So of course you need to update those. But here's a saying start, then it comes in, and then I can actually I'll be presented with all the courses that I attend. You see, I have quite a lot of courses here, and then I'm gonna stop at that and that, and I'll keep playing drums, of course, because that's awesome. You see, there's a messed up test student. They have a lot of info. If they want to edit something, they go in here, and that's where they could choose, I wish to change my course, I wish to go and leave, or I wish to change lesson duration. They can do a comment on that one. So yeah, all that info, and we'll just make sure this one should be removed, but we'll check that for you. So this is what they do. They choose these different settings, and then you also got your waiting list. If I'm at the waiting list at the same time, yes, I still want to be on the waiting list. Same time, they can add more courses. They can ask for a new instrument, apply discount, so on, if you want them to, or you can disable that. And then just keep on going. Then all that I said I want to keep on going, you can put in a new comment, move on, and then you get these terms and conditions. That really great, because then every year they're asked to update and say, yes, I still accept that. Now here, what happens here is that it comes and say, oh, well, these are the fields that we asked you that you must accept. So yeah, that's fine. This one, oh, it's empty. I need to choose what school year I'm on for 2019. And it says here also year group as of September 2019, because I chose per September 2019. So they'll choose their year group and they're at school and so on. They can put in new info if that's relevant. Accept that one and then move on. Then I got the parent. The same thing, they got these, when they try to move on, say, well, you need to accept these, or these actually, there's missing data, so we need that info. When all that's put in, it will save that for this parent, so the next registration, re-registration I do for the other student, I won't be asked to do this. Then comes up the questions, which you can also ask if they're supposed to accept or not, and then that's confirmed. In the end, what happens is, when jumping back, you can also go to lists, and re-registration then would also come up with this list. In the end, you can follow who've done re-registration, who haven't, by checking this list. So here students will come up that's chosen, yes, I'll stay there. It will come up with a grouping with those that chose that they want to end, with those who want to change courses, whatever you allow them to. And when you want to send out a reminder, you just send out reminders to these, because these are the ones that haven't done anything yet. So just do the exact same thing, pick the active, put like that, and then minimize that down to the bottom there, so that's down there, and then send to waiting list as well. So that way it's easy for you to remind students, and you can do this as often as you want to. When you come to your deadline and you close down your re-registration, you might also make sure that you send out an email. And of course, check your emails that they're actually being sent. Check the status that it's not read, that they receive these emails. So, and then students are automatically moved to the next academic year. They are not booked yet. The teacher or you can book the students as they come into the next academic year, but they're automatically moved, their dates are updated, all is good. Yeah. Jumping back here, so that's the steps. I'll send you these slides, I'll add them, because there's actually info about the text, the start, and I'll show you that real quick. Sorry for the jumping around now. See, the time is running off. But in here, the registration setup, you got the tab called texts. And in this one, you got the re-registration information. Here it's good to tell them about, welcome to the re-registration. You can choose to discontinue or continue. If you want to edit the time that you're receiving, you can press edit course, depending of how much you allow. So give them some info about this on the welcome, on the first page for this re-registration info. And then last page for registration. This one say, now thank you for doing the re-registration. You should get an email in just a second. All is good. Yeah, looking forward to, if there's something wrong in the email, contact us and we'll have a look at it. And at any time, you can go into a student card, and on the student card, you can see what have they done of re-registrations. So you see they actively re-registered for the 1920. So you can say its student has continued on their course. So it will also tell you if they chose to stop on a course or anything else. And if a student have done something wrong or parent have done something wrong, you say, great, I'll just delete it for you. I'll delete this re-registration, and then I'll do the re-registration for you if you want to. But you have to go back to 1819, important detail. So I'll do it for you. So you can, at any time, a student or a parent that calls in having trouble with this, you can go in, do it this way. Then you'll see exact same thing, confirm this. You can put in comments as students can, but you won't be asked to update their data. That's important. But if you do this for them, you can say, send an email that I've done this for you, and then it will send an email again, the exact same template, and then say confirm re-registration. So that's sent to this student. So you can help out students or parents very easily that have a hard time doing this re-registration. In the end, it all comes down to you choosing which model are we going to be choosing for our re-registration, moving students over. Or we got to get Speedadmin to do everything and not having any data updated, or do we want to get everybody to update everything, or are we just going for the waiting list in the middle? Good. It was fairly quick, but again, I'll put in these notes and check this checklist on our help forum with some screenshots, and of course this movie where you can see it again. So you got some info you can check up on. Great, and this one is just the confirmed master data. We talked about that this period of time. So this period is both for the guardian, but also for users teachers. If you don't have this users teacher, if you don't experience that when users or teachers log in, they get asked, that's a feature, and we can activate that. So just let us know. We can make sure that that's activated and set up together with you. Great. Assessments. I promised to make sure that we had good time for this, but we'll just go over time. I hope that's fine for all of you, because I want to show you something with these assessments. So what you can do here now is you can actually set up your own templates. Oh, not the app. Set up your own templates. You can fill out. Then teacher can go and fill out these templates. Then admin can approve and send assessments, and the student can view these assessments. So we're almost there. I think Louisa and Mike was working with these. The developers working with this are almost there. I think last details will be more or less next week. But I'll start showing you some of these things. First of all, when I am in Speedadmin, I'm missing a menu point for this, but you'll get a menu point for this as well. Here, you can go in, you can create new templates, or you can see the templates that you already created or we created for you. So you can see these different templates, and you can put in a description that you might want to have in the mail send out. Let's have a few examples. On traffic, you have one. So you got one here, music, and so you got your questions here, and there's already some info, some basic info that will be merged into that mail that's sent out later on. Also in Lambeth, I know you guys, we've set that up just yesterday. I haven't even told you yet. So Dan, this is completely new for you. But here you got your different assessments. So these different assessments will be in here with different info. You can go in and edit them, add extra fields or whatever you want to. It's all up to you. But going back here to my UK test school, where I got two different, I got a spring assessment and a summer assessment. Now when that's done, teachers, when they log in, and let's try to find my absolute favorite teacher here, Miss Almonte, and we'll log in as her. And sorry, no, just give me 1 sec. Just need to do something real quick here for So here you're gonna get a quick guide in setting up the menu for teachers. So here I want to have teachers that they can have assessment tabs as well. Assessment, and there is here a menu item called menu item. Jumping around, menu item teacher part, assessment teacher part, and I'll put that in after. Yeah, that's fine. After vacancies in the top menu, like this. So, and then we'll lock in and Miss Almonte, and then here now you see I got a menu point assessment. I come in, and here I see all my students. All my students. I can, of course, split them up saying, well, I just want the students on lessons, or I just want the students on sample. I can also choose depending on what school they're attending their course. So here you can see that there's, yeah, I'm not finding, but there you can easily do the filters here for who am I working with at this moment. Now I'll be doing a spring assessment, but the teachers, of course, if you have more than one assessment, the teachers have to choose what assessment am I actually working with. So the teacher will go and say, well, I'm working on the spring assessments. So and then I get all students here, and then I'll start from starting out with APE. And it's per student and course. So the reason why you see APE here and Albion more than one is because they are attending more than one course with this teacher. So they have an assessment per teacher, per course. And here I get my questions. That's just what I put in. So the student know what they're doing? Yeah, not much. Describe what you've been doing. I can write some info. Again, these fields depends on how you set up your template. Then you got the comments. Is this okay? The teachers. This is the comment from the teacher to the admin. Who can they approve this? And they say, well, I'm not quite done with this. I want to do some more text. You can then save it as draft, or you can, and then you can go in and find them afterwards, or you can say send to approve. This is fine. I'll just send that to the admin people, and then this comes up saying awaiting approval. So I can see, well, I've actually handled APE, so I'm just waiting for admin to go in and handle that. Going back to admin. Now we're back to the admin people. They have admin assessment here saying, well, what do we got? Oh, we got one here from APE that Miss Almonte have done. Again, here there's some filtering. What assessment am I working with? What teachers am I looking at the moment? So you can split that up. And then going through. Great. Well, she putting up much. Yeah, that's fine. Then what you can do with this, you can say, no, I want to reject that. Then it comes back. Then I should probably write a comment. Then say, no, I'll send that back to the teacher. That's not good enough. They need to do it again, and I'll add a comment. Now the comment that the teacher had put down should be here, so I see there's a little bug that they're fixing for next week. So that comment will actually be there. You can see that. Then you as an admin can write why won't you approve this, and then reject it if you want to. You could also say, well, we'll just approve this and we'll send it off. And at any time you can see, you can go in and find these per different stages that they got. This is all good. I like it. I'll approve a send. So how do you want to add assessment report? Do you want to embed it into the email, or you want to attach as a PDF? You can't do both at the moment. So I'll choose one of these. Let's just embed it, and it will just show this. So this is for all. That's because I put in some info just as a text. So here it comes up with who did it, what's the course, what's the teacher, the name of the student. And so this is how that would look. I got a mess up icon because I messed up the logo on this test school, but this will be embedded in the email, or it could be just a PDF, then it will be down here. It's all good. I like it, and I'll just send it off. So for now, the student will just be able to see that in their email with the PDF, or in their, or they could also log in. The student can log in and see their own, what's been sent to them. 10 last messages could be put into their portal, their start page. But in the longer run, it would be shown somewhere on the student portal. And if you will be using the school dashboard, the plan is in a very near future, actually, that for the schools, when they log in, they got this dashboard, which few of you are using, but they would hand here when they choose a student, and say profile, it would actually come up here with a tab, say assessment. So they could go in and view the assessment that's been done on this student on their school. So they got full looking overview of assessments that's been done and how are students doing and so on. So I can pull out that info per student. Yeah. So that's assessment. We're really excited that it's there now. Few smaller things that still need to be done, but next week more or less we should be fully up and running. I know Trafford, you are starting with it. I think you already started out more or less, and you gave us some good feedback. Still working on some of the things, and but still anything you come up with, and also now with Lambert that are ready to go, give us some feedback. I'll set that up for you, Dan, so you can start having a look at it. So yeah, that's the assessment. I hope you're going to be fond of it and it does what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, please let us know. Give us some feedback. Finally, with the app, and because of the time, I actually wanted to get Dan in here and show you a bit of the app. But I think we'll cover that in a later webinar. We got better time shortly in the app. If you don't already got it, go and get it on your what's it called, Google Play or the iPhone App Store, because it's both for Android and iOS. It can be used online, offline, but the first time you log into the app, you have to be online. So logging in, you have to be online, but thereon you can do offline attendance, so on, do notes, and then we'll synchronize the next time you open up your app. And a couple of quick pictures here. When you go in, you can go in and see more info. You can write emails. You can do notes on the students and adding scores even. You can easily do attendance with sliding here. I can't do this because it's just a picture. If you slide, I think it's right. It's attended, and you can attend all students, and then no attendance, slide the other way, and then it comes up with what kind of attendance reason is it then. And also you got your schedule, you got the overview here of all students in a specific ensemble and so on. You've probably already seen the app. I hope you've seen the app. Otherwise, start using it. It's very intuitive, very easy to use, and we'll probably do a more dive into the presentation of the app for the next time. And for the room, you heard a bit of it. The ones that were at our Speedadmin seminar in Reading heard about this. I won't do much about that. So now, time running away. So sorry about skipping those last bits so fast. But are there any questions? And again, because of the delay, I'll keep it open. I'll have a sip of my coffee. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all still there. That you didn't get too bored listening to me, and that you got most of it. Again, remember, I'll send the slides. I'll update the help form, and I'll make sure that the video is out in the beginning of next week, so you can find it probably already this afternoon. Then for a Good Friday evening entertaining, you can put on Thomas Speedadmin webinar. I think the family's going to love that, don't you? I doubt it. But no questions in the chat anyways. We'll keep the chat open for a sec. Just please right away, or yeah, you know how to reach us, phone or use the report problem, whatever suits you the best. Please, if any questions, if you're having trouble or anything, make sure to contact us so we can get things fixed. A bit of Danish. I know you love the Danish details in here and there in Speedadmin. This means have a lovely weekend. Ha' en dejlig weekend on Danish. And yeah, or have a groovy weekend. So it's been great doing this webinar for you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll be back for the next time. And from Sønderborg, signing off, Thomas Thompson, Sønderborg, Denmark. Have a great weekend out there. Bye bye. See ya.